Shooting USA is brought to you by SnapSafe and the full line of Trek-Lite lockboxes. Affordable security for home or travel. Get 15% off with code SUSA15 at snapsafe.com.
There is a lot of crossover between hunting and the shooting sports, especially when you talk about precision rifle competition. And there have been matches before that take on the hunting theme. Natural terrain, animal-shaped targets, challenging positions, all can add to the hunting feel of a match. But when your match director is a decorated champion shooter and an accomplished hunter, then you have the makings of something special.
As soon as Jesse Guitar Zan Johnson fires up his amp, you know this is no ordinary match briefing. The national anthem blasts through the valley and the bass jumpers soar over the sprawling array of rifle and pistol bays as the competitors look on. This is the shooter brief and opening ceremony for the Koenig Precision Rifle Challenge.
You know, about a year ago, I started thinking, hey, I'd like to, really run a PRS style match, but it not be your traditional flat range, round plates, diamond type, match. I wanted it to be more hunting-oriented, field course, shooting off rocks, situations that you'd encounter if you're mule deer hunting, antelope hunting, and put that together and with the competitive shooting and maybe bring both groups together.
The first step is to choose a location, and there is really nowhere else like the Cameo Shooting Sports and Education Center outside Grand Junction, Colorado. Walt Prue is the general manager.
So I heard from one of the reps at one of the firearms companies that Doug Koenig was looking for a place to host a match. He initially wanted something back east because that's the hub of PRS activity, but this guy kind of turned him on to the idea of getting a hold of me and seeing what he could do out in the Rocky Mountain West.
I spoke to Walt and kind of had heard about Cameo. I know there was some other long-range matches in the area. And everything he told me, I just thought, it's too good to be true. There's no way it can be this awesome and this diverse and have so much to offer.
So much, in fact, that scouting locations for target placement and shooting positions can take days.
It's an open slate with a humongous tract of land to formulate a plan, put together a course of fire.
Humongous pretty well sums it up. And that is why Cameo has the fleet of side-by-side UTVs for competitors to navigate to and from the courses of fire. And the backdrop is like none seen at any other competition. The Western Slope High Desert lends itself to a hunting-style match. Doug and co-match director Keith Baker took full advantage in creating these courses of fire.
First one here is on this very close ridge at 300 yards, big rock ridge right here in front of us. On the left edge, there's a small ram target. It's skylined on the left edge here. There's flashers on the last two targets, and they've been hit pretty easily. Maybe not.
And it's not just the natural terrain. The props are also following the theme.
You may be shooting off a tank trap, but it's not going to be your traditional 4x4, 6x6. It's going to be two cedar logs, bolted together. And same with the PRS barricade. We found that tree our first trip out and said, we're going to use that somehow, some way. And the guys, we had them drag it down. They used a post hole digger, put that in, cut it off, build it up. And that's the theme.
The hunting-themed courses of fire fall right into the wheelhouse of the experienced hunters, like Trent Eichler. His family is well known in the hunting and guide community. He's new to precision competition, but his fundamentals and field experience make it work.
Honestly, the setups, because you're on the move, you're trying to get a good setup and a good shot, it's pretty similar. It's very similar.
It doesn't hurt that he's squatted with GA Precision frontman George Gardner and team shooter Brian Sykes. Both are sharing competition basics, like
just set up the rifle properly, dig it into the bag, and just pay attention to where your shots land. Great teachers, they're awesome.
Joining Trent on the squad is another first-time competition shooter with hunting in her blood, Jessie Micco. Your very first precision rifle competition of any kind,
Yes, sir.
and your very first stage in your first match, and you come out and hit some targets. How'd that feel?
It was pretty cool. My heart was pounding. Couldn't really breathe. First I set up and I was like, I am all over this target. And I was like, I don't know what the heck, how this is gonna go down, but it went down and it happened.
But how does it compare to her regular hunting experiences?
Just like Trent said, it's pretty similar. I mean, again, you got the nerves from just the competition aspect of this, you know, comparing to the nerves of shooting a big animal. And then again, you got the range, you got all the, you know, environmental factors playing into it. It's very similar.
Those environmental factors are what make this match a real challenge. Not only are there switchy winds, but it's hot, temps over 100, and it's dry. But for guys like Rusty Ulmer, it isn't a factor.
Out west, we have a lot of wind, and so we have a lot of wind where I live too, so yeah, I'm used to shooting in the wind. That helps. I'm from northern Arizona, so I live at almost 7,000 feet, so I shoot in the mountains, so elevation's similar. It's not as hot where I live as it is here.
For those who don't live at elevation, you've got to prepare.
You know, for the folks that are not familiar with this dry heat, dust, things like that, you know, the key is you got to hydrate. You got to prepare yourself mentally and, more importantly, physically ahead of time. You don't just show up, start drinking bottles of water. I mean, you got to kind of really start out that week getting more water, getting more electrolytes, all that stuff in you to be able to, you know, withstand the heat.
The difficult terrain and environmental conditions really do require preparation. The extreme heat and altitude can sneak up on you in a hurry. But it's all part of what makes the Koenig PRC a one-of-a-kind shooting challenge at a one-of-a-kind shooting venue. We've got more from Cameo next. The destination vacation-like feel of Grand Junction and the Cameo Shooting and Education Complex can almost make you forget that there's a precision rifle competition happening here this weekend. But there are a handful of competitors poised to take top honors at the first ever Koenig Precision Rifle Challenge.
The Koenig Precision Rifle Challenge is the match product of Doug Koenig and Keith Baker. Both are decorated precision rifle competitors, with Doug claiming multiple titles in the production division, shooting his Ruger precision rifle. With Doug running the show, the production division will have a new name at the top of the leaderboard, and he'll be shooting a brand new rifle that is purpose-built for this division.
This is the Masterpiece Arms PMR Pro 2. So Masterpiece Arms brought out a PMR Pro a couple of years back. The difference between the PMR Pro and the PMR Pro 2 is the PMR Pro 2 allows the upgrade of a Trigger Tech Diamond trigger, which goes down to 8 ounces. And it omits the muzzle brake. So you can add whatever muzzle brake that you want, and the rifle's still production legal.
To be production legal, the rifle must have a retail price of $2,500 or less, with an optic having the same retail price listed by the manufacturer. Bobby's new MPA PMR Pro 2 is $24.99. And on the challenging Stage 18, Bobby drops only 2 shots, posting a best for the division, 10 points. Open division rifles have no limit on MSRP, but in these conditions, the best race gun can only perform as well as the shooter on the trigger. George Gardner is well known as one of the finest rifle builders in the country, and he's also a top flight shooter. He goes on to drop only 2 points on Stage 16.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. One I gave away, I just didn't have a stable position and I rushed it, but I feel good about that run. Very dry, a little bit of wind, There's so much terrain that the wind's doing really weird stuff, so I think it'll challenge everyone at this match for sure.
Derek Hovey is running well in this match. He's from Colorado, and that plays as an advantage in dealing with these conditions and the wind.
I think that the wind here definitely, especially in Colorado or the whole four corners really, it's always switchy. I don't know that I've never had a match that wasn't windy.
Mike Anderson lives and trains just to the west in Utah. He's also seeing success in these difficult conditions. And he's got a simple solution for dealing with these animal-shaped targets.
You try to pick the area of the target that has the most mass and aim for that.
Mike has to make an adjustment to his bipod for the additional up angle on this course of fire. He ends up with 6 of the possible 10. But what is it that makes this stage difficult for him?
The wind coming up and building and then letting off. So paying attention to mirage, the shrubs, what the wind's doing is the biggest key to this. And for this match, small targets. They're not huge, so you got to make good adjustments.
Stage 9 is one of very few that does not have animal-shaped targets. It's a pair of diamonds set at an up angle across the valley. 1 shot on each from 5 positions for a total of 10 possible points. And another shooter from out here in the high desert west is on the way to taking all 10 of those points. Morgan King is putting together a dominant match performance from start to finish, and he likes the hunting feel of this match.
It's a field match, like not a lot of just natural barricades and stuff, big boulders, things like that. A lot of troop lines, mostly animal targets, which is kind of a cool feel, so, if it's deer, it's on the front shoulder, so it's a lot like a hunting situation, If you miss, it's because you either we're going to gut shoot him or we're going to shoot him out the front, so it kind of helps you learn your limits, shall we say, in the hunting scenarios.
Stage 1 of this match is Doug and Keith's version of the PRS barricade stage. The barricade is a tree trunk with cut limbs for the 4 required positions. The target is a rabbit silhouette, 8 shots total, 2 from each position.
Like that tree is pretty solid, so I really like that, And to be able to shoot off natural terrain, I think it's pretty cool. It's something you're going to find. It's practical, something that you might actually do in the field, so it's good practice for that.
The practical hunting feel as a precision shooting test is what the match directors were going for.
I'm 100% happy. Keith and I are 100% happy. And I think, again, once the word's out and the people that want a unique match, a destination match, easy logistics to get into, this is going to be one I think that they're going to put on the calendar.
As projected, the top finisher in the production division is Bobby Keegan's. The tactical division trophy goes to Patrick Lorenzo, making it happen in those tough conditions with a 3:08. Bobby is 30th overall, Patrick is 29th. The open division results tell the story of dominance for Morgan King, dropping only 13 shots for the match. Mike Anderson is second, 19 points back, and Paul Dallin winds up third.
Shooting USA is brought to you by Les Bear Customs 1911s, hand-fitted to perfection because you'll accept nothing less. And by Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable.
You can tell by watching the video that we gather at the Cameo Shooting Sports and Education Center that there really isn't anywhere else quite like it. But this facility is way more than just pretty scenery, and they aren't even close to being finished with construction.
One of the first major projects underway during our last visit to Cameo was the Maintenance and Services Building. This was heavy steel being assembled last time we were here, and it's now one of the first of many milestones.
Yeah, you're right, milestones indeed. So the latest addition to the facility is Phase 1B, which included our sporting clays courses and what we call our Maintenance and Services Building, which is where we store all of our side-by-side utility vehicles, of which we have 38. They double as our golf carts for the sporting clays, as well as transport vehicles to get people up onto the mountain for the long-range rifle competitions. But it's also serving double duty. We've got classroom space in there. The area where the vehicles are parked at night, they can all be pulled out, it can be cleaned up, and it can be used as an awards ceremony ballroom, if you will. We've got a full pro shop, retail, video lounge where we can play videos to teach people what to do around here, give them instructional videos on how to participate in the sporting clays, instructional videos on how to rent and use the side-by-sides, that sort of thing.
The Maintenance and Services Building is a big step forward, but that is not even close to the end of the vision that General Manager Walt Crew has for this facility.
It truly is. As a longtime pro shooter myself, and having seen facilities around the country, to be able to be a part of fleshing out one that is purpose-built by shooters and for shooters, it's doubly exciting from, wearing both hats. Both being a part of it as the manager and the visionary to get it built out, but also from the perspective of a shooter myself, knowing that when people come here from around the country, and in fact from around the world, that they're going to see an offering here the likes of which, to my knowledge, have not existed anywhere else before.
With as much that has been completed, there is still a lot of work ongoing now, making the facility's capabilities even greater.
That's right. So we've got 4 earth-moving projects going on right now. One of them is to add 8 more action shooting bays to augment the 20 that we already have. That is scheduled to be completed, believe it or not, in 1 month. Complete with more shooter shelters, complete ubiquitous Wi-Fi throughout, just as we have in the rest of the range, and AC power to all shooter bays.
The dirt work and construction are also taking place up on the bench at the 1,000-yard known distance range.
We've also got the National Guard here helping us to build a 40 by 80 shelter structure at our long-range precision rifle bench area. And then they're also starting to do a build-out on what we hope to be a state-of-the-art law enforcement training facility.
It's a monumental accomplishment that is on the fast track. And for Walt, that makes his work a lot of fun.
Yeah, every day. Every day I'm happy to come to work. And you said it right, especially with shooting bays. They flesh out so quickly. The skeleton just appears like in the first day. You can start to see what's shaping up. And every day there's dramatic improvement, up to and including the final days when they'll start graveling this whole thing. This is going to evolve very, very quickly.
Thanks again for tuning into the Shooting USA YouTube channel. We hope you enjoyed the content. A couple of notes. Make sure you take advantage of SUSA15 at snapsafe.com. That's our discount code that saves you 15% on anything from SnapSafe, and that gets to be some big money when you start talking about modular safes and vault doors. Also, if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our new content. As always, a like and a comment helps us with that algorithm.